Hello everyone, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I am coming to you with another technique video. I'm trying to pull up my iPad so I can see exactly where I'm at. So, and I didn't want that sound on there. Geesh. Okay, I think we're ready to start. But anyway, like I said, I'm Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I have a Facebook group where I do technique videos every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. It's Stamp Crazy VIP, and I invite all of you to come over there and join. And I do put the PDFs of the videos on that group in the files section, which looks something like this. It has the name of the technique, the supplies, the directions, and it also has the directions for the card that I make today using the technique. And all of my past files are in there, so you're welcome to go pick all of those up for different techniques that I have shown. I'd also like to say Stampin' Up has a couple specials going on right now. If you order $250 or more, you get an extra $25 in merchandise besides your stamping rewards. So if anybody's wanting to place a big order, you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I'd love to be able to help you with that. Do not use my June host code though. Go to my website and you can order it all through there and you'll get your rewards on there, or you can contact me to do that. If you would love to join Stampin' Up, they have a good offer right now. For $99 you get $125 worth of product that you get to pick out. Plus, you get to pick out one of the new bundles in the new catalog, which could range as high as $60. So that would be like $185 free. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about that. I'd love to have you join my team as I'm trying to grow it. And and like I said, I would just like for you to think about that, and if you do not have a demonstrator and would like to take the journey with us, just give me a shout out and I would be more than happy to help you. I am going to go ahead and get started with my technique. Here is the card that we're going to be making. This is called ink blending with colored pencils. I did see this on Gina K Designs. I think I do it a little bit differently than what she did. I just did what was comfortable for me to do. So I am going to show you exactly what I did to make this card. Before I do that, I will show you a couple other samples. I used the Tasteful Touches stamp set with the Tasteful Label dies, which are what these two dies are out of that I cut and put on here. I also did, this is our Just Jade, one of our new ink colors, paper, and the Just Jade ink. Here's another of our new ink color, that's Magenta Madness, and the Magenta Madness ink. Same stamp set that I did these two cards with. And then I did two other cards with the Celebrate Sunflowers, and then the saying is out of the Tasteful Touches. And this is Pool Party with Pool Party ink. This is the Bumblebee with the Bumblebee ink. And then these are colored pencils that highlight the darker colors that's in the stamps. I used Cajun Craze pencil here. I used Calypso Coral in here. I used the Melon Mambo ink pencil there, and in this one I used the Bermuda Bay. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get started with our card. I am going to lay out a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to do my embossing first. So let me get this piece of scrap paper. I'll turn it over. I used it already. I'm going to take my Versamark ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my images onto my Whisper White cardstock. So I'm going to put one down here in the corner, and I inked it up really well with the Versamark ink, which is just a clear ink pad. That you can use any color embossing powder with. Now I'm going to ink up this little bit of leaf and put right here. Okay, that's the extent of my stamping with the Versamark pad. I'm going to bring in my embossing powder, and I used the white. I just put it in a container. I think it's easier to use. And you want to make sure that you get that sprinkled really, really well all over your image. That's why I like to use the, and as you can see, I did not use an embossing buddy. I always forget about using that. I just tap off. Unless I'm using colored cardstock, I just skip my embossing buddy altogether. Okay, I got a little bit of powder on this, so let's get that off. And now I am going to emboss it. My embossing gun's going to make a lot of noise. It's over 20 years old, so just bear with the poor little thing. When you do your embossing, you do not want to shake like this because you're not distributing your heat well. You just want to kind of hold it, and once you see it start turning a glossy color, then you want to just move it down. You really want to make sure you get your edges where your embossing powder's on your edges here. Make sure you get that really well. Look at it and see if you have any dull spaces. Okay, I don't know if you can see that real well, but it's all embossed in white. You'll be able to see it really good when we get ready to finish here. I'm just going to fan it for a second just to cool it off just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to get my Just Jade ink out, and I'm going to use my, let me shake this out just a little bit more. I don't like gritty paper. There we go. Okay. I'm going to use my ink blending brush. If you don't have these are great. I got mine off of Amazon, and I just absolutely love them. They make blending so easy, and to me it makes a much smoother surface of blending than what your sponges do. So I'm just going to come off of my paper, and then so when I start I don't have a big blob of ink right there. And I'm just going to use my brush. I'm going to swirl it until I get all of the color out. Now, I did hear about these brushes that the dollar store carries brushes very similar. I haven't went and checked them out. I just heard from other people. So if you don't have them and you want to check out the dollar store to try them out before you buy some others. Now, these weren't very expensive. They were like $10.98, $11.98, and you get 5 brushes, 5 different sizes. When you do this, you want to just go outside of the lines. You don't want to cover your whole page. You're just going around your images and blending that. You don't want to go out real far. Okay, I think that's blended well enough. I like it. So that's where I'm going to leave that at for now. I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to go over my white, and this will get off any of the ink residue that you had gotten on there while you were rubbing your ink on. As you can see, it just gets a little bit. It doesn't do tons. Make sure that if you're using these brushes, you clean them out until you get a clean surface. I use the same brush over and over in all different colors. I never have put it in water. This is how I clean it, and it seems to do very well. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our inked images and we're going to bring in colored pencil. And we are going to color to make highlights. Now, you don't want to press real hard like coloring. I mean, you don't want to do this. We're just going to take our pencil and we're just going to do this. And as you can see, it's going to give a darker color in there. If you can see that on the so what we're doing is we're just wanting to blend a little bit, of darker color, starting at the base, you know, where more embossing is or more of your ink color is. That's the darker part of your where your shading goes. Mostly in stamping, that is your biggest clue. So you just want to follow those lines, and I'm just giving it a little bit of color, and we'll compare it to the other flower up there in just 1 minute when I get all this done. Some of these areas are really close, so it's hard to get in there. Don't worry about going over your embossing, because we're going to wipe that off one more time after we're done. But this is just an easy way to, you've got all your basic color down in your flower, and you're just taking a pencil and kind of bringing in another color to give it some dimension, a little bit of shading. If you go and you look at it and something doesn't look like you've added enough pencil to it, just go back over it. It doesn't hurt. I am using Stampin' Up's watercolor pencils because that's the only pencils we have. And it was easy to match up some colors, so I like it. And then what you can do is, I'm going to go ahead and show you on this flower, you can bring your paper towel back in and just kind of wipe that. And if you can tell, you can see how much darker this looks in places than this one. It just gives it a lot of dimension. So I can really tell it on my screen a lot more than I can, or in person than I can on my screen. So anyway, I'm going to do this next flower real quick so we can get on with our card. So how many of you guys have done this before, or is this new to you? If it's not new to you, I hope I just bring something a little bit different to the table that enlightened you with the technique that you didn't know before, or that it just is a reminder of a technique maybe you've done a long time ago and you'll break your stuff back out and do it again. It's a lot of fun. It's easy, and it makes it look like you've done a lot of work and you haven't. It's got that wow factor to it. It's what I call it. The wow factor is always when somebody's so amazed and you feel like you cheated because you didn't do much. I personally like to do cards with wow factors. I like easy. Easy peasy. Then I'll just wipe over this flower. And as you wipe over this flower, it actually will blend a little bit of that ink, since it is a watercolor ink and it's soft. I'm going to bring in a green and go into my leaves a little bit just to add some darker color. Now these I am, because they're so small, I am coloring them in. Just to give some of these bigger ones a little bit of color. Give some dimension to our leaves. You can use so many different kinds of stamps to do this with. It's a fun technique. You just got to have some open spaces from where you have embossed to get color in there. I think I'm going to try it too with doing some black embossing and doing this technique and see how that works out. So anyway, there is the coloring and the technique part of the card, which I think is just really, really nice. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to lay this to the side for a second. I'm going to bring out my card base and I'm going to fold it in half. And if you guys don't know, I always use a Pampered Chef pot scraper because I just think it's the best. I have a piece of black cardstock that I'm going to mount this onto, so I'm going to do that. I'm actually using the Stampin' Up's new Stamp and Seal adhesive. I wanted to see what that was like. I like it. You do have to, it's pretty sticky, so when you do that, you're going to do your line. Don't pick this up. Twist it before you pick it up. If not, it gets a little bit stringy. But it glides really nice. I like the way it glides. And it doesn't string up. It makes good, nice lines. I don't know if you can see them, but you don't have any awkwardness on there. So I'm going to mount this on my piece of black. Well, I just got it crooked. So you can see it does stick. It sticks very well. There we go. I wasn't being very straight with it. And that's a big no-no. I hope you all have gotten the new Stampin' Up catalog. If you have not and you would like one, again, if you don't have a demonstrator, because I don't want to take business from anyone, but I'd be glad to send you a catalog. Just message me, or you can email me. You can go to my website, leave a message, or you can go to my Facebook group, leave a message, or you can email me at ritaholmes0611@gmail.com. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my labels on here. Here's my first label, and I call it the diamond type shape. I didn't know what else to call it. So I'm just going to add that to my card. Then I cut out the little banner image or shape, and I'm going to stamp the saying "Sending Prayers" out of the itty bitty greeting stamp set from Stampin' Up, which has been in the catalog for a long time, but I just now bought it. So I hope I got that in there kind of straight. It's pretty good. I usually stamp them and then cut them out, but to save time, I did it this way. I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on here. And add that to my card. And there's my finished card. Now here's the one I did earlier today, and it is blended because the ink's dried a little bit more, but they look the same. Here is another sample in the Magenta Madness, and then here are the the sunflowers that I did. Great technique. I hope you guys loved it. I would like if you would give me a thumbs up if you're watching this and like it. Leave me a comment, and also please share my video with your friends as I'm trying to build up my YouTube viewers and that. So anyway, that's all I have for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye.